Hey everyone, Coach Travis Robertson, CEO and founder of Robertson Coaching International, and welcome to this video on how to delegate. Now, if you're anything like me, and the reason I'm laughing is because I am on a DISC profile, a 99 out of 100D, which means I'm a control freak. And delegation does not come naturally to me. And in fact, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of leaders, because a lot of leaders are get it done type of people, fix it type of people. Like, hey, point me in the direction of a problem. I'm gonna go fix it. And you know, it's better that I do it than somebody else do it and screw it up or not do it to the level that I have and blah, 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 blah. Look, I've heard it all. In fact, I've said it all. And so delegation does not come naturally to me. And so it's a process that I've really had to learn over the years, especially as our team has been growing and growing and growing. I've got to delegate to people. And so here's what we want to do before we get into the content. A couple of key things I want to make you aware of. We've got a great download for you that is going to walk you through the process and kind of give your people a template that they can use when you're kind of assigning things for them to manage and decisions and all of that stuff. So got a great template. It's called the ORR template, and you'll see why in just a second, because I'm going to teach you my ORR process for effective delegation training, or decision-making training as I call it. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. We also have a great team building webinar coming up, so do make sure you register for that webinar, because I would love to see you on there. We're going to be talking about great stuff as it pertains to building a high performance team, and I want you to check out that webinar. All right, so that's it for now. We've got some other stuff here at the end we're going to get to, but let me walk you through how to delegate more effectively, because let's be honest, probably a lot of you could really use this. Okay, so here's the truth, and this is a fact. And before we get into the process, this is very important to remember. The foundation to delegation is great hiring and great training. If you screw up on who you hire, of course you can't delegate, because you got a bunch of morons working for you, a bunch of idiots running around who are gonna screw it up. So you gotta hire great people and train them effectively. But if you've got great people and great training, there's no reason you shouldn't be delegating. So we don't have time to go through a whole hiring process. We've got a whole nother video on hiring effectively. In fact, we'll get that linked up. Hopefully that video is going out before this one. We'll make sure that it does. So we'll link that up. So we've got a great video on hiring where I walk you through a great hiring process. And so make sure you've got a great hiring process and a great training process. Then delegation becomes a lot more effective. All right. So what is the ORR process? I'm going to teach this to you. And by the way, this is what we use internally. I've taught this to my team. This is what we use. This is the exact process. And so I call this my decision training process, because the root of delegation is not about necessarily delegating tasks, though that's part of it, but that is the basic level of delegation. The highest form of delegation is delegating decisions. The ability for others to make decisions is the highest form of delegation, and that's where you have leaders who are truly leading in their area. And that doesn't mean that they run a department or run a division or have people reporting to them. It means that they're able to make decisions without you in every single decision. Now, I know some of you, that makes you break into a cold sweat. Your hands are getting a little clammy, you might be beads of sweat dripping down, but here's why you want to delegate decisions. Because if you have to be the decision maker for every little thing that happens in your organization, you become what's known as a bottleneck or a lid on your organization. So I want you to teach people how to make decisions the way you would make decisions. Now, it's kind of the old joke, you know, what would Jesus do? You could have what would Travis do? What would Joe do? What would whoever do? But you want them to be able to think the way that you think and make decisions the way you make decisions. But you've got to be able to train them to do that. So this is the process for training people to make decisions, not task delegation, because that's the base level. That's easy. That's the easy part of delegation. The hardest is decision. All right. So the 3 steps are this: options, recommendation, reasons. Options, recommendation, reasons. Hence the ORR, right? Very simple. It's the ORR process. It's a 3-step process, super simple. So let's walk through this. The very first thing they need to do when they come to you with a problem, because usually it sounds like this: hey, Travis, I've got, we need to make a decision on this, this, and this. What should we do? And it's like, well, I don't know. I need more information than that. And so the problem is everybody just dumps the problem on your challenge or decision on your desk. And they go, Travis, we need this decision. Joe, we need this decision. Mary, we need this decision. And so what I realized is I don't have time to make all these decisions. I travel too much. I've got too many other things going on. Some of these things, why am I making this decision? So what I decided to do is create the ORR process. So here's what this looks like. Number one is provide the 3 best options to move forward with and be able to explain why they're the 3 best options. So instead, when they come to me and they say, hey, what should we do about this? Or which venue should we choose? Or which direction should we go with this? What I do is I say, hey, did you ORR it? Did you ORR it? So they come back to me, oh no, let me go do that. So they come back and they go, okay, Travis, we have to make a decision on a venue that we're gonna choose for an event. And so here I've researched the venues and here's the 3 that I think are the best options available. Now, at minimum 3. At minimum, they need to come back with 3. Sometimes they come back with 5. Sometimes they come back with more than that based off of what they're seeing and they're just unsure, and that's okay. More options is great, less options not great. So they need to come back with the 3 options that they think are the best, and they need to be prepared to tell me why they think they're the best. And they need to say, well, I like this one because of this, I like this one because of that, I like this third one because of these reasons, and so these are the reasons why these made my top 3 or top 4, top 5, whatever it is. Great. Now what they need to do is give me their recommendation. So it's, look, I'm just sitting back. I'm a participant in this, but I'm not making a decision here. I'm letting them run with this. So I said, okay, great. Now which one do you recommend we choose? So of the options that you presented, which one do you recommend? So tell me your recommendation for the opinion or of the options that you would recommend, and then be prepared to tell me why. What are the reasons that is the decision that you're making? So this is where we're going to talk about it. So we're going to say, okay, they think option 1, and so they're going to tell me all of the reasons why they chose that option, along with reasons maybe they didn't choose the other option. So they go, look, all 3 look great, but here's why I think this is the one, because this has this and these 2 don't, or this has that and these other ones had this sort of, but not quite at the same level. So whatever it is, they need to be able to give me their 3 options, their recommendation, and the reasoning for it. Now, here's where the magic comes in. We're going to discuss it. So now I'm going to say, you know what? I get it. You're absolutely, hey, great call. I like where your head's at. I like what you were thinking. Yeah, those are the 3 options I probably would have chosen from. That's the one I would have gone with. Great, run with it. So what I'm doing is I'm training them how to do it. But here's the key. If they make the wrong decision, don't come beating down on them like, you idiot. Instead, what you want to do is say, you know what? I can understand why you would have made that choice, but there's some data, there's some information that you may not have had access to, and so let me show it to you from a different perspective. Or here's why I might have gone with option 2 instead of option 1, because of these things. I mean, I see what you were seeing there, but now do you see from this perspective and why that would be of benefit to us as an organization? You do, great, awesome. But hey, great job on this, and let's go with option 2 this time, and in a different situation, we might have gone with option 1, whatever it is, but now we're having those discussions. We're talking through it, and I'm helping them understand how I arrive at a decision, so that the next time they come back to me, what do? They go, hey, here's 3 options, here's my recommendation, here's my choice. And it's like, yep, I agree with that, that's great, run with it. Yep, I agree with it, run with it. Yep, I agree with it, run with it. And all of a sudden that happens over and over and over again. Now they stop coming to me. Because it's like, hey, here was the thing that came up and here's the options that I came up with, here's what I did, just wanted to let you know. And it's like, great, thanks. Now I don't have to be involved in every decision that goes on in the company because I've trained people to make decisions the way that I would make decisions. Now here's the thing, are they always gonna get it right? No. They're not always going to get it right. And that's the part of delegation, is sometimes they will make a decision that they thought was in the best interest of the company, but we come to find out wasn't, or wasn't maybe the best decision. That's okay. As long as they learn from it, and as long as we talk about it and we go, hey, you know what? We thought this was the right call. I know why you thought this was the right call. In fact, I probably would have made the same call, but it wasn't the right call. And so let's sit down and talk about what we can do, what we can learn from it, so we don't make the same mistake again. That's all about delegation, that's about leadership, that's about education and training, and that's the process that we're going to go through. Now, this is the process that's going to teach them how I make decisions, and it's going to empower you to train people to lead that you lead to do the same thing. You really want to empower them to be able to make decisions, to not just take tasks, but to be able to run with it and make decisions. So here's your next action steps. Number 1, I want you to download the ORR process sheet for your team. So play this video. You can train them yourself, or you can let me train your team, because I know you got a great team out there. And so let me train them or you train them, but show them the ORR process. We've given you a sheet so they can just fill out the information. What's the challenge? What are my 3 options? What's my recommendation? Why? All that stuff that's all in there, so they can walk it, so they can say, hey, here's the process. So if they didn't ORR, you hand them a sheet and you say, hey, I appreciate you bringing me the challenge and the problem, but go ORR it, come back to me, then we're gonna have a conversation. Make sure you register for the team building webinar. We're gonna be talking through how to build a high performance team. You do not want to miss that webinar. Join us at one of our amazing live events. We've got some incredible live events coming up. We're adding more and more to the schedule. So do make sure you're checking out for some dates in our locations. We've got some one days, some multi-days. Do check us out. Come to one of our live events. I promise you, you will leave energized, excited, ready, filled with more information. It's just an awesome thing. And get your free coaching session. We've got an incredible team of coaches ready, standing by, ready to help you to solve your #1 challenge in your business. We want to do this. It's our way of saying thank you and showing you what it is that we're capable of. It's not a glorified pitch session, not a glorified sales pitch. We just want to help you. And we know that if we can help you, we can bring value to you. It's a great opportunity for us to show you what a long-term relationship with our team could look like. So look forward to serving you in future videos. In the meantime, don't settle for anything less than you're capable of. If you believe in yourself just half as much as I believe in you, you've got an amazing business, amazing life ahead of you, and it is an honor to serve you in this capacity. See you soon, guys.